Austin Reedy leading in the number 9, Tristan Bailey behind him in that second position, and Jake Roll sitting in third as they go around the Talladega Superspeedway. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Rick James, bringing you uninterrupted green flag coverage of the Alpha-1 600 Challenge from virtual Talladega. An hour late, a buck short, but here we go. Thank you so much for putting up with us, and thank you so much for tuning in. Big shout out to Rock NASCAR 388 with the Alpha-1 charity emote. Thank you so much, buddy. I appreciate you so very, very much, and thank you to the fans who have just recently joined us. Austin Reedy leading Tristan Bailey in the second position. Chevrolets all the way down through the top 11 spots until we get to 12th. Ryan Pennell in the number 12 Advance Ford Mustang. Right behind him, Terry Gabbard. Both of these drivers racing from the Alliance Racing Championship Series team. Jaden Gimbel back in the 14th position in the number 4 Pepsi Mustang, just ahead of Joel Connolly and Donnie Lyons. So much happening in the first 3 hours of tonight's event. But here we go now in the second half. Austin Reedy ahead of Tristan Bailey. Jake Roll running in the third position, catching up to this pack up ahead. Kurt Swatsworth in the number 51 car, just ahead of John Lamaga and Eric Sellers. These three nose to tail, Toyota, Ford. And now pit stops coming down with 3 hours to go on the clock. Kansas City's Seth Wansing coming down in the number 99 Napa Chevrolet. Jake Roll coming down to the pits in his number 1 Chevy. And a few of these paint schemes not loading. Let's give Trading Paints an old refresh here and see what's up. There we go. Well, there we don't. Now we got some paint schemes, now we don't. Again, we're just a bit late on time, quite late on time due to technical difficulties, so thank you once again. Suave in the chat. What is going on, Rico? Glad to have you here. Thank you so much for putting up with my tardiness. Dakota Kramer, now your new leader in the number 43 Alpha-1 Chevrolet. Well, the Petty's Garage Chevrolet with the Alpha-1 logo on the back. And we are going to talk more about Alpha-1 as the evening goes on. We've got plenty of time to do it. Leader Dakota Kramer now coming into the pits. Jake Roll in the second position, moving at speed in that number 1. Austin Reedy right behind him, sitting in third, that number 9 Chevy. Rico Suave says, glad you're here. I'm glad I'm here too, Rico. I am ready for an intense evening of fun. I'll tell you what, let me go bother my good friend Atlanta Racing, see if we can say hello. Atlanta. Nothing from Atlanta. He's probably taking a break at the moment, and no worries. Still keeping up with the lead car. The number 1 of Jake Roll, who's ahead of Austin Reedy. That's going to put Missouri's Seth Wansing into the third position. He's driving the number 99 car, just ahead of Tristan Bailey, running in the 4th position in that number 24. Then it's good old Pete Rousick. I've never learned how to properly pronounce his last name, and I'm ashamed of that, but good old repeat, 1975, running 14 spots up from where he started, now in the 5th position, behind Hoover, Alabama's Ryan Pennell, who's a lap down in 10th, but he's making up the time just ahead of the 78. Pennell goes around right into the wall. The first caution of the evening right after these pit stops come out. Jake Roll leading this race. There's the 1 car. Austin Reedy sits in second. There's Seth Wansing. And the native, Ryan Pennell, from Hoover, Alabama, heavily damaged now as cars fly past him at speed. And what a terrible time for the Alabama native to get into an accident. We'll see if we can have a word with Ryan Pennell shortly, but that's going to put Jake Roll at the front of this race, just inside the 3-hour mark. If you've just recently joined us, I'm Rick James, bringing you uninterrupted green flag coverage of the Alpha-1 600. Talk about curse of the commentator. Well, the first caution for me this evening, I should say. I don't know if it's the first caution of the evening. I'm sure it isn't. But the yellow flag flies over the Talladega Superspeedway, and Jake Roll will collect the pace car. Let's try and, well, there goes Atlanta Racing and Frozen Toes no longer broadcast. So we're on here. They are probably taking a break. We'll see if they'll come back for the end of the evening. Big shout out to Frozen Toes and Atlanta Racing. Thank you so much for anchoring the first half of this race. Jake Roll leading this race right now. Let's see if we can, you know what? Let's see if we can get in their chat and see what's going on.
I'm on the leader list over here.
Jake Roll, Rick James in the booth. You got me, buddy?
How's it going, man?
Hey, buddy, just a quick interruption. If I could interrupt the team chats while we're under caution, how is the first race of how the first half of this Alpha-1 charity race gone for you, bud?
It's been pretty good. That second to last green flag pit stop, we were 9 seconds behind, then got into the lead, so doing something right. But it's been a long race so far. Got 3 hours left, so I mean anything can happen.
A lot of things could happen in these next 3 hours. What's the number one thing that you've learned over the first half of this race?
Just keep the car clean. You don't need to be up front leading the thing. You're burning more fuel, so save fuel, keep the car clean. Make sure you got partners coming into pit lane with you, so you're not riding solo coming out of the pits.
Last question before we let you get back to work, Jake. Who's the toughest rival on the track right now?
It's any of these other Roel Motorsports cars.
Big shout out to Roel Motorsports. I'm loving the almost like a Michigan State Spartans paint scheme you've got on that 69 Camaro. Whose idea was that?
It's mine. I'm actually a Michigan State grad, so it's where it all kind of comes from.
No kidding. You know what? We'll have to talk later. I'm actually a few hours away from the MSU campus, man. That is pretty awesome. Anyway, enjoy the rest of the race. Thank you for your time, Jake.
Awesome. Appreciate it, Rick James, and appreciate the broadcast, everything you guys are doing.
My pleasure, buddy. Go green, go white. It's going to break his heart when I tell him that I'm actually a Michigan fan. He might hate me. But nevertheless, we press on. Seth Wansing now being scored as the leader. The KC Masterpiece from Southern Kansas City sitting in the first position in that exciting looking number 99 Geico Chevrolet at the front of this race. So now we've got a moment to talk. We've got a moment to discuss why we're all here. We're all here to benefit the Alpha-1 Foundation. And a lot of you might be asking yourself, what exactly is Alpha-1? Well, to put it simply, Alpha-1 is a genetic deficiency that causes illnesses, lung cancers, liver diseases, lung diseases in adults. And Alpha-1 is just, they call it this, I believe I'm pronouncing it right here, this antitrypsin deficiency. It's a genetic condition passed from parents to their children through their genes, and it can result in serious lung disease and liver disease at any age. For each trait a person inherits, there are genuinely 2 genes. 1 gene comes from each parent. People with Alpha-1 have received 2 abnormal Alpha-1 antitrypsin genes. 1 of these abnormal genes came from their mother, 1 from their father. Anyway, what that means is it's just a gene that puts diseases in humans. Not good. We're here not only for the love of racing, but we're here to fight this Alpha-1 gene that causes these diseases, that causes these cancers, and you can help as well. Go to alpha1.org, learn more about it. I'll post the link shortly here in the chat. Where you can go specifically, and you can even donate towards your favorite team. Lights are out on the pace car here. Seth Wansing leading next to Austin Reedy in the number 9. Zach Taylor in the number 22. Logan Joyner now driving in that number 69. Rolla Motorsports Chevrolet. Byron Jones rounding out the top 5 in the number 24 Chevy. Mike Kinsley now switching out for Pete Rousick in the number 8. Rep Sports, Raise Energy, Alpha-1 Camaro. Cody Sturgill now to the inside in the Petty's Garage Alpha-1 Chevrolet. Josh Hale being scored 8th in the number 27 Alpha-1 car. Now check this out. This is actually an Alpha-1 car. Loving the paint scheme and the dedication there. And I wish I figured out how to zoom in, because if you look right there, the logos of all 3 broadcasters, Rick James, Frozen Toes, and Atlanta Racing on the side of that car. That is pretty special. My good buddy Michael York in the number 42 Roll Motorsports Chevrolet. Dayton, Ohio's Terry Gabbard in the number 194 Ford Mustang rounds out the top 10. Seth Wansing back at the front with 2 hours, 50 minutes to go. Suave, let me help you out with this, buddy, as the green flag comes out with 2:50 remaining in this race. Back to racing at Talladega. Zach Taylor taking the point in the number 22 Chevrolet. New leader, Zach Taylor. He goes to the front, but now Seth Wansing using the draft right to the outside. Logan Joyner sits in 3rd. Austin Reedy in the 4th position. Mike Kinsley rounding out the top 5. Taylor now back to 2nd as Seth Wansing tries to slingshot around the outside. Reedy comes up behind him. 2 by 2, 2 rows deep, and now to the inside. There goes Reedy looking for the lead. Around the 4th corner, Wansing now leading. Reedy behind him. These two nose to tail, trying their best, and there's a wreck down the back. There goes Wansing, collected by 2. 3 cars going around. Huge pile up down the back straight. Cars slipping, sliding everywhere. Smoke, carnage, and big crash down the back straight. 4 or 5 cars involved in that one, and it started with Seth Wansing and Austin Reedy down the front straight. Caution is out for the 2nd time in 10 minutes. Austin Reedy, Zach Taylor, Logan Joyner. Now your top 3 as the yellow flag flies over the Talladega Speedway once again. And again, if you've just recently joined us, apologies for my tardiness. Technology got the best of me, but we are live. We're strong. I'm Rick James, bringing you the remaining 2 hours, 47 minutes of the Alpha-1 Foundation 600 from the Talladega Superspeedway. Rico Suave, be patient with me, buddy. We're going to get this worked out. And fans at home, thank you for your patience. We're under caution for the 2nd time in the last 10 minutes. We'll catch up with the belligerents in this accident and replay what happened. Don't go anywhere. We're not going to take a break. We will stay on for the remaining time. Back to the track, Michael Kinsley leading this race so far. Austin Reedy sitting in the second position. Let's go back and see if we can have a look at what exactly happened to Seth Wansing in the 99, going to Seth Wansing in that 99 as the caution came out. Austin Reedy and Seth Wansing battling down the back. Oh, that's a lap earlier. Let's go to the yellow flag here and see if we can catch up with what happened. There's the turn right there. It looks like Reedy just lost control, and there's the pileup behind him. And just as simple as that, your entire night can turn. Seth Wansing, who was turned around in there, the 99, and now in the 10th position, where he was up more than 10 spots from where he started. Now Michael Kinsley at the front in the number 8 Raise Energy Rep Sports Chevrolet. He'll be starting side by side with Austin Reedy in the number 9. So far, it's been a pretty eventful 15 minutes since we've started this race. A couple of cautions already. Doesn't matter how many cautions they want to turn. The race will end approximately right at the stroke of midnight. We'll see who survives these intense miles here. About approximately 600 laps is what they'll run in this race. Give or take, we'll see here. So far, they've turned about 198. So they'll actually turn just short of 400 laps. It's going to be quite the impressive run. And shoot, if they go green here for a while, they could turn well over 600. Depends on just how many cautions we see. But we're lined up 2 by 2, a full 12 rows deep, getting ready for the green flag, getting ready for the restart of the Alpha-1 Charity 600. Kinsley leading, Reedy to the outside. Cody Sturgill sitting in the 3rd position. Warp Lotus hosting with 1 viewer. Thank you, Warp. I appreciate you, buddy. Sit back, get ready for the restart of this one. Bama Trama in the chat for the Alpha-1 Charity Challenge. Kinsley leading, Reedy to the outside. Green flag is out at Talladega. Leading on the first lap after the green flag, Kinsley, then it's Reedy, then it's Sturgill, single file, all the way out of turn number 2. Josh Hale in 4th. Then you've got Byron Jones rocking in the 5th position. John Holliday, who's up 11 spots from where he started, now sitting in 6th. Kool-Aid with 100 bits in the chat. Kool-Aid, thank you so much for your generosity, my friend. I would say take the money that you're going to put into bits, give it to the Alpha-1 Foundation, and you can donate in the name of any team that you like. I'll post the link one more time for you, Kool-Aid. go and give your hard-earned money to a much more worthwhile cause than myself. Go to the Alpha-1 Foundation, donate in the name of any team that you wish. And there's a lot as the caution comes out. Wreck at a turn number 2. Oh, big pileup out of 2. The 24 of Byron Jones involved in that one. I think the 27 involved in that one as well. Look at this. Ryan Pennell, another accident for the Alabama native. It just goes from bad to worse for the Alabama native. Ryan Pennell with more damage to the front of that Advance Auto Ford. Kinsley leading undisturbed. Reedy in second. But now we've got to go through this one and see exactly what happened. Let's go ahead, have another look, and see what happened here. This huge crash, starting with a lot of guys out of turn 2. Oh, it's already well and truly done now. Let's take a look. That's the 20 Alpha-1 car. And then let's start here because it looks like this accident started coming through 1 and 2. Let's slow it down. Let's move up here. And this already started with Logan Joyner. Or I'm sorry, not Logan Joyner in the 1, but possibly the 27. Let's have a look now. Let's slow everything down here. Let's find the 27 if they're up there. Byron Jones in the 24 is already behind the 27 and the 43 car. That's Cody Sturgill. That's being turned around there. Jones has nowhere to go but right into the 43. The poor 22 of Zachary Taylor, nowhere to go. The one car barely escaping. That's Logan Joyner who just gets away with that one. And here comes Adam Rowe. Terry Gabbard's going to be involved in this one as well. Zach Taylor going for a skid. Matt Langley, he's about to get involved in this one and he doesn't even know it. Big days of thunder moments for a lot of these drivers. Here's Dean Brummett. The number 7 car of Brummett has to bring his car almost to a halt, and they're still piling through smoke. Look at that. 2 more cars just got involved here. That's Sturgill who's gone around, still wrecking well after the caution flag has come out. John Holliday now being scored in the 2nd position. Austin Reedy to the lead. Logan Joyner moving up to the 3rd position. And in the last 24 minutes, that's the 3rd caution that's come out tonight. Bama Trama says, what a mess indeed. Mama Vols, huge crash all over the place. So Reedy in the lead now in that number 9. John Holliday sitting in the 2nd spot. Ryan Pennell now being scored 8th with some damage on the front of that number 12 Advance. Reedy to the front of this one. Let's see if we can bother Austin Reedy for a hot second and see how his race is going for him thus far. Well, possibly, maybe not.
I started moving the
Austin Reedy.
into my lane.
Rick James in the booth. You got me, buddy?
Yeah, I got you.
Austin Reedy, you're leading this race so far with 2 hours, 35 minutes to go. It's been several cautions in the last 20, 30 minutes. Has this been the norm all night long, or is this just a bit of nervousness halfway through?
I think when we get a random caution or a caution just comes out, it's usually everybody trying to get positions where they can, and cautions breed cautions. But we've had no damage on the car tonight. We still got 3 fast repairs, so we can still be a little aggressive, and I think we're in a good spot here.
The car's looking mint. Who's the sponsor that you're repping on the hood of that number 9 Chevy?
That would be Edward Schur's Twitch. Go check them out. I know he's streaming right now, so glad to have him up front all race and promote his Twitch and whatnot.
Car's looking good up there in first place. Loving the purple rims, and I'm loving the purple theme there on the side to match the Alpha-1 charity we're running for tonight. Patience, obviously the biggest name of the game. Who's your biggest rival on the track thus far?
Yeah, I can't say that without getting in trouble.
All right, who's your most fun rival on the track then?
Probably. I don't even know who's on here. Probably Joyner.
Yeah.
We race for different teams in a couple different leagues, and he's a cool dude. So always fun to see him out there and racing against him.
Pretty cool, pretty cool. Who's and as far as winning this race goes, who's going to be the biggest obstacle for you today?
Number 8 car
Whoever's
right
in front of me.
The number 8 car. We're talking about Michael Kinsley. He's going to be starting on the outside of row 2. You're also going to have Logan Joyner behind you in the number 69 RMS MSU car. You got a couple of roll cars behind you. You got Logan Joyner in the 69, and then in the 21 you've got Nate Mann. Are you afraid of, or not afraid, but are you weary of these cars possibly running a train around the outside?
Wow.
My guys will sit
Well,
on the bottom
Breck
if
behind
need,
you.
So.
We're going to let you get back to work. The 21's already gone around. Best of luck, Austin.
All right, thanks, man.
What in the world has gone on here? The number 21 of Nate Mann going around a crash, under crash conditions, 2 hours, 33 minutes to go in the race. Bama Tram, if you thought it was a mess earlier, it's a mess now. Let's roll the clock back here. Oh, let's roll it back 2 minutes and see what just happened. Man in the 21, he's got Terry Gabbard behind him. Man loses control. He just stops driving the car. Is this a possible disconnection? Let's go into the cockpit view and have another look. And let's roll this back. You can see the hands are just static to the right. And it happens right here. It genuinely looks like a disconnection. He shifts into 5th, and then it's almost as if he disconnected. Shifted into 5th gear, and then the car just goes, okay, well, so the restart's been waved off, naturally. Man is back up to speed. Nate Mann in the number 21 RMS Camaro was going to start, I believe, 5th. Now he's going to start at least 11th. And look at the damage to the side of that number 21 Roll Motorsports Camaro. Passing a teammate to his inside. Where will he get his spot back? That's the question. Well, amid some confusion, now we're back under racing conditions. Thank you to those of you who've just joined for the Alpha-1 Foundation 600. I'm Rick James, bringing you uninterrupted green flag coverage of the race. For those of you just joining, I do apologize for those pesky pre-roll ads. The next caution we'll throw up a 60-second break. That way we can be ad-free for 21 minutes. Won't have to worry about those ads anymore. Austin Reedy leading this race with John Holliday to his outside. Logan Joyner starting 3rd. Mike Kinsley starting 4th. Nate Mann does get his 5th position back. So you've got a couple of Roll Motorsports cars on the inside there. You've got Ryan Pennell and Terry Gabbard and Seth Wansing, all ARCS Motorsports cars. Then Kurt Swatsworth to the inside in the 51. Jimmy Holzer rounding out the top 10 in the 42 car. And this is going to be fun. Pace cars peeling off. We're getting ready to restart as that beautiful virtual crowd greets these cars. For the 3rd time in 30 minutes, we're going to have a restart here. 24 cars still running. 2 by 2. 6 rows deep. Green flag is out at Dega. clean and green after the first lap from restart. Seth Watson going to the outside, cars getting jumbled up. Austin Reedy still at the front of the pack. The 22 of Zach Taylor sitting in the 19th position, 2 laps down. Now on the outside, trying to draft his way to the front to the outside. The 9 of Reedy leading. The 99 of Wansing back into the 6th position. David Trumbley in the 00, Captain Jax Ford now behind the 28 car, and there's smoke up ahead. There's another crash. That's the 22 of Zach Taylor, 2 laps down and in trouble again. Taylor skidding to the inside. That looks like Kurt Swatsworth, who's having trouble avoiding him. And that is Swatsworth in the 51 who's trying to get around him. Caution number 4 out in this second half of the race. Yellow flag is out for Zach Taylor spinning at a turn number 4. Let's have a look and see what happened to the 22. May have gotten some help from the 20 car. Oh, so close. The lone Canadian, Adam Rowe, in the number 20 Alpha-1 Chevrolet. Let's get a little bit closer and see if there was indeed some contact coming out of 4. Some tight bump drafting here. And this will tell everything we need to see. And that's pretty much all you needed to see right there. Adam Rowe just getting a little too friendly with the back end of Zach Taylor. 22 goes for a wild ride around turn number 4. But I'll tell you what, let's go along for a ride with Zach Taylor because I want to see what his hands were doing and how he kept this off the wall. Brilliant move coming up the back straight as well. Let's listen. Great save. That's just cool. That's a great way to save that race car. Kept it off the wall. If they can keep driving like that all night long, they'll probably get back on this lead lap. So the 22 of Zach Taylor now running 21st out of 26 competitors. That's going to put Ohio's Terry Gabbard at the front of this race. He's got his ARCS teammate Seth Wansing right behind him. Michael Kinsley sitting in 3rd. Let's have a word with the Dayton native, Terry Gabbard. Terry Gabbard, Rick James in the booth. You got me, buddy?
I got you, buddy.
How are you, man? You doing okay? You're leading this thing.
I was doing okay till I was leading this thing.
Now, you've got your ARCS teammate Seth Wansing behind you. Is this going to be a little 1-2 blockade to stay at the front?
It looks like he's going to have Ryan behind him, too. So that's going to be exciting.
Your ARCS teammate Ryan Pinnell rocking the 12 car after some damage there. So we're looking to put a Ford Chevy Ford combo at the front. But these cautions coming often here in the second half of this race. Is it far too early to tell if you have the winning car?
Oh, yeah. It's way too early. There's no telling what's going to happen in these races. Being up front will help because if there's a problem back there, I hopefully won't be involved in it. But on how the cautions are going to come.
Loving the paint scheme you're rocking, that 194 Mustang, almost really classic looking there. Whose idea was the paint scheme?
Nick Pressey made the paint scheme, so we're excited to be rocking it tonight.
Shout out Nick Pressey. Sounds like an entire ARCS effort tonight, but the important thing is, are you having fun?
Absolutely. Shout out to Warp Lotus as well, who put this team together for us to be able to run tonight.
Thanks, Rick.
Send my love to all the boys at the back in ARCS, and hopefully we talk to you later tonight. Best of luck, DP.
Absolutely, buddy. Have a good night.
I'm already having a good time. We're going to have a fantastic night. No worries here. Still got plenty of time to go, so we're going to take a quick 60-second break. We're going to go ad-free for the next 21 minutes, and we'll be back for the 4th restart of the second half of the Alpha-1 Charity 600. Don't go anywhere. About to go racing once again. That link that Suave posted in the chat is where you can donate to benefit the Alpha-1 Foundation. The Alpha-1 gene is a hereditary gene passed from parents to their children that causes diseases in the lungs, diseases in the liver, and it takes so many of our loved ones every single year. We are here to benefit the Alpha-1 Foundation, and you can donate in the name of whatever team you like, whether it's the Johnson iRacing team, Roll Motorsports, CNW, ARCS, whether it's 979, Huckleberry, HRL 43, MTC, Team Alpha, SCR, or KSG. I know, so many acronyms, but you know what they mean. Donate to the team that you love. Let's save some lives and let's enjoy some racing. Green flag is out at Dega. .221 left in the evening. Terry Gabbard leading single file, and it looks like these drivers have decided to ride around, get some racing underway. You've got 3 ARCS cars in the top 4. Mike Kinsley into that number 8 car. He's now racing in that second position, trying to overtake Terry Gabbard. That's the MTC team that Kinsley's rocking there. 194, 899, your top 3, Ford, Chevy, as they come through 3 and 4. Vols fan 88 says, love you, Rick James. Love you, Vols. Thank you, buddy. Swap 55 says, KSG. Big Zerk says, hashtag Wolf Pumps Zerk. Go ahead and click that link. Donate in the name of Wolf Pumps if you want to. Donate in the name of Big Zerk for all I care. But give to that Alpha-1 Foundation. Let's save some lives together. Donate to whoever you like in the name of whoever you like for whatever team you like. But the point is that you donate. Kinsley to the outside of Gabbard for the lead into 3. The ARCS team now single file on the inside with the Roll Motorsports car of Logan Joyner now sitting in the 4th position. Kinsley sinking like a stone on the outside of 3. Now Edward Shearer goes to the inside in his number 9 Chevrolet, now driving for that team there. The 00 of David Trumbley up ahead. Trumbley racing for the Johnson iRacing team in that 00 Captain Jack car. So far, single file, and it looks like these guys are really playing it conservative in this phase of play. Terry Gabbard still leading. Who's that going to the inside? That looked like John Holliday or possibly Jamie Haynes in the 11, but it's actually Swatsworth. Pardon me. I'm trying to find out who's behind that number 20 car. But so far, so good. You could even say this is one of our longest green flag phases at this point of the race. Warp Lotus says, go ARCS. He says he's on standby for his stint. We'll see how Warp Lotus does before he gets into his car. The biggest mover of the race so far is our current leader, number 194, Terry Gabbard, in that Nick Pressey-designed Mustang. Seth Wansing now in second. Pinnell in third. Back to the 21 of Nathan Mann, who nearly lost that race car under caution. James Holzer in that number 42 Roll Motorsports Camaro. He's driving right now behind the well, there's the 11 of Nate Mann. I'm sorry, the 21 car of Nate Mann. We know the numbers are a little messed up, you know, between the iRacing and the, on your ticker says 10, the car says 21. We're going to get this sorted, don't worry. Terry Gabbard at the front of this race still, and it's been all calm at the front of this race. Going back through the running order, Cody Sturgill in the number 43, Petty's Garage Alpha-1 car, riding behind the 51 of Shad Swatsworth. Swatsworth now riding in the 12th position, just on that tail end of the lead lap. Behind that number 42 car, James Holzer. Couple of Roll Motorsports cars running nose to tail, and I just noticed they're all painted just like, they're painted in Michigan State colors with that Michigan State paint scheme. I love the way that they're all designed. That's actually really cool. I wonder if they're all from Michigan and actually fans of MSU. That would be pretty interesting. Mike Kinsley, he's up 12 spots from where he started. That Raise Energy Rep Sports Raise Energy car. Just ahead of John Holliday in the double 8. Jamie Haynes in the number 11, up 12 spots. But at the front, still Terry Gabbard, and you can definitely tell these drivers being just a bit more careful, trying to log more laps. So far, they've completed 218 and a half laps around Talladega. Ten to 10 on the East Coast, and if you've just recently joined us, thank you so much. Tonight we're giving to the Alpha-1 Foundation, trying to do research and save folks against the perils of the Alpha-1 gene that causes liver and lung disease. You can certainly help save a loved one. Go ahead and give to Alpha-1. Here's the link one more time. Big shout out to Suave. And you can give money with the hashtag of whatever team you like. So if you're here cheering on a specific driver, give to that driver, given the name of that driver. But just give something. Help save a life. Zach Taylor in the number 22. Saved the car after that spin coming out of turn number 4. You can see the 78 of Matt Langley to his inside. That's for position. Langley now into 19th. Josh Bromfield in the number 81 car, just ahead of the 6. That's Mike Allen in the 6 car. That number 6 Alpha-1 team, part of that Alpha-1 racing team, sitting in the 13th position, just trying to get his draft. And it's still plenty of this race to go, but you can clearly see the difference between the haves and the have-nots. Gabbard still at the front, and for the most part, the top 10 still spread out wide. Obviously not wide, spread long, I should say, not wide. Nate Mann in the 21 car briefly looking to the outside, possibly trying to get some fresh air into that race car. And as the drivers are moving along, they've got to be thinking about pit stops sooner rather than later. Now reaching about the 20 lap mark since they last pitted. You can see drivers jostling now, getting a bit closer, trying to save that fuel. Vols Fan 88 says, I'm here to cheer for you, Rick James. You're always so generous, Vols. I appreciate you so much, pal. At the back of this top 10, now you've got cars shifting left and right. Nate Mann trying to find a spot. Shad Swatsworth just ahead of the 43 car being piloted by Cody Sturgill. Is Sturgill looking for a draft partner before these pit stops begin? Wansing sitting in second, now dipping to the inside. The 8 of Kinsley now rocking behind the 9 of Ed Shearer. And you can see this front pack now getting closer together, harder on the pedal, now trying to get closer and keep this draft tight. Kinsley to the inside, backing off of the 9 of Ed Shearer. Tremblay just up ahead, rounding out the top 5 in that 00 Captain Jack. Logan Joyner sitting in 4th, now backing off the 12 of Ryan Pennell. And these 3 cars at the front, all on the, well, not the same team per se, but the Alliance Racing Championship Series has entered 3 cars in this championship. So I guess actually you could say that this is all Team ARCs, even though they are 3 separate cars. Terry Gabbard still leading comfortably with his teammates behind him. The 99 of Wansing, the 12 of Pennell. Drivers trying to give each other as much space as possible. There you can see such a massive gap. But now 2 lines starting to form on the racetrack. Who's going to go with who? Partnerships being made, deals being formed, pit stops being constructed. There you can see the 00 of David Tremblay now backing up to the high side. He's got the 24 of Tristan Bailey to his inside in 15th. Bailey sitting a lap down. He is now the 2nd car, 1 lap down. He wants to overtake the 20 of Adam Rowe. There's the 20 car driving for Alpha-1. The 1st car, 1 lap down. He's got some damage behind the 21 of David Mann. Has he been getting generous with his front bumper? If the caution comes out, Rowe becomes the lucky dog. He gets his lap back. The 24 of Tristan Bailey riding behind him wants to be that next car. The 20 and the 24 sandwiched between Mann in the 21 car and then the 7 car, not Joe Tardif, trying to find where he is. There's Kinsley in the 8, just ahead of John Holliday in the 88 car. Coming through this 3rd corner now. 1 car shooting high to the outside. That was the 51 of Shad Swatsworth now falling back into line. James Holter up ahead in the 42. Nathan Mann now to the inside. That looks like the 24 of Tristan Bailey, who's trying to find some help on the outside with the 7 car. Zach Taylor in the 22, now drafting with the 28 of John Lamaga. Mike Allen now in tandem with the 81. James Holter right at the back end of this first lead pack, all single file. Holter now looks to the outside. Nate Mann still on the inside. He's got his Roll Motorsports cars behind him. Will Mann shoot to the outside and join his teammates? No. Swaff 55 says, donate, donate, donate. That's what we're all here for as they get dicey. There's the wreck behind him. It looks like Mann was involved, still wrecking behind him. Here come a few more belligerents trying to avoid these drivers. That's Joe Tardif in the 48, bringing his car to a very slow pace as the smoke billows into the air. David Tremblay, Cody Sturgill, Dean Brummett all involved in that accident. Let's go back and have a look at what happened here. This is a full lap before the accident. Let's get a little more recent here. Here's Cody Sturgill in the 43 car. Sturgill's up ahead. You can see the 7 car just diving in and out. There's the 42 car up ahead. I believe the 42 of James Holzer is going to be involved in this one. And let's slow it down right as they get into the tri-oval. Whoa, oh, and I just went live. My mistake. Gosh, that sucks. All right, let's go back. There's the accident. Right there, the 43, the 42, the 7, all collected. Let's roll this one back. That's exactly how it happened. Looks like the 43 was just trying to dive to the inside. Let's slow this one down. Cody Sturgill in the 43. Let's take a look at his hands. Shooting to the outside of the 42 car now. It looks like he just tries to jump to the inside of the 42. Sturgill turning the 42 around. The other Roll Motorsports car gets involved. That's Dean Brummett in the 7 car who gets tagged there. He's going to go for a spin. There's the 42 trying not to wreck. And the car has come to an undignified halt. So there's the 5th caution of the evening. Nate Mann in the 21 now coming down pit road along with all the other belligerents. David Trumbley being scored as the leader as he's jumped to pits. Terry Gabbard, Seth Wansing, Mann, Joyner, Kinsley, everybody coming down pit road for tires, for fuel, to get their cars repaired. We'll see who's going to win the race off pit road. There goes the 9 of Edward Shearer, and Ed Shearer to the front. He's going to lead this race ahead of Logan Joyner in 2nd, John Holliday 3rd, or was it Nate Mann? May have been Mann over Holliday. Kinsley, Hayes, Swatsworth, Allen, Jeremy Brio now joining in the number 99 Napa Know-How Chevrolet. Justin Williams now taking the drive in the number 194 for Terry Gabbard. Ed Shearer at the front of this race. We're still ad-free for another minute 51. Downton Gaming says T-Marks back up front. Love it. There's Logan Joyner. He's going to be scored in the 2nd position here, but Ed Shearer now to the front for now. Let's have a word with Ed Shearer and see how his race is going for him so far. Ed Shearer, Rick James up top. You got me, buddy?
Yeah, I got you, man.
Ed, you're at the front of this race once again. Another caution comes out in the tri-oval with drivers blocking, and it seems like it was roll-on-roll violence there with a little bit of the 43 mixed
I got a lucky
in.
dog, and it maybe he said I had to pass him, but he went down pit road.
Tristan, shh, shh.
How is your team avoiding these accidents, getting into each other with such tight competition?
I mean, me and Rudy are both really good at Superspeedways. I think he has a little bit more better luck than I do, which is why he was in the car a little bit longer than I was, and plus why I was starting the race. But I mean, we're just picking our lanes where we need to go and picking off cars one at a time, finding the right spots when to get to the front, picking off good pit strategy, and just managed to work out in our favor. I think we're like one of the few that haven't even burned one of our fast repairs yet, so that's pretty good so far in my book. But I mean, we'll see what we got, because I think we got like another 2 hours left, so see if we can make it there.
The clock says 2:03 remaining. Consistency has been key, as is showing, but it looked like drivers were getting squirrely anticipating pit stops. How far can your cars go on a green flag run?
I don't really know. We haven't figured the math out yet for that, but I mean, it's got a little bit more fuel than the current cars, and yeah, about like maybe 40, 45 if you save enough, but it's a little bit more different than the current cars instead of the next gens. But I mean, we're managing it well. We're picking when we need to go. I think we're trying to figure out now how much more we need to save to make it to the full end, but I think we're getting close to our mark.
We appreciate your teammates kindly interrupting and letting us know the 40 lap mark here. Going to green here as we're so rudely interrupted by your teammates one more time. Shout out to Repeat for staying quiet. Who's gonna be your biggest challenge as we go green?
Probably the RMS guys, probably more than likely. I mean, they know how to get up to the front a lot more, which is why I'm part of their team. But today I just decided to row it myself and Reedy. But yeah, probably the boys over there at RMS and whoever's left from them. And who knows, maybe a couple surprises. But I think we showed today we got a pretty decent car. So hopefully we can keep it up front and see what we can do in the end.
Thanks for your time, MTC team. We'll talk to you guys soon.
Yep, appreciate it.
Love having a laugh with these guys. I'm having a good time. I hope you fans are having a good time as well. So the pre-roll ads are back on. Those are going to be back on for just a moment. We'll take another break at the next caution to stay ad-free for another 21 minutes. We're approaching the 2-hour remaining mark in this race. Ed Shearer at the front. Logan Joyner now to his outside. It's going to be an all Chevrolet front row. Matter of fact, the first 3 rows all Chevrolet. Then you get to the 51 of Shad Swatsworth in his Toyota Camry. We got the Ford of Justin Williams. And then more Chevys all the way down. So the pace car peels off. We're going to get going one more time. Don't forget to donate to the Alpha-1 Foundation. We'll put the link in the chat one more time. Shearer to the inside. Joyner to the outside, waiting for the signal. Green flag is out. Shearer, Holiday, Joyner, your top 3. First lap after restart complete. Some activity behind him. The 51 of Shad Swatsworth trying to keep it cool. That's the 43 car right behind him as well. You've got the ARCS cars now all to the outside. There is Brio, Williams, Cody Pennell taking over in the 12 car for Ryan. Ed Shearer now to the front with John Holiday behind him and Logan Joyner in third. So you've got a couple of Alpha cars. You've got a couple of RMS cars behind them as well. Single file, first 7 cars. Then Tristan Bailey leads the madness behind them. Folks, right there's the link to donate to the Alpha-1 Foundation. Now we're inside the 2-hour remaining mark. So far, plenty of action in this race thus far. The 43 car of Cody Sturgill trying to find a drafting partner, someone to go with. Disruption in the ARCS camp. The 99, the 194, and the 12 briefly separated. The RMS cars and the Alpha-1 cars trying to hook up with each other, trying to get good drafting going. Nothing doing, and it looks like the 6 of Mike Allen separated from the 11 of Jamie Haynes, and Jamie Haynes sinking like a stone on the outside. Rock NASCAR 388 with the Alpha-1 emotes. Fans, put those Alpha-1 emotes out there. Commando Griffs says, lots of turn down for what drivers in this field. Too many names for me to type. What you can do, Griff, is you can click on that link that Suave and I have posted in the chat. You can donate all the hard-earned money you can to the Alpha-1 Foundation and help save some lives so we can treat the Alpha-1 gene and we can help our friends and loved ones. Commando Griff says, loving that number 8 car of Repeat, right now being piloted by Michael Kinsley. But he's talking about the MTC team, the Raise Energy Rep Sports number 8 Chevrolet, just ahead of the number 6 car of Mike Allen. Started 6th, running 6th, in car number 6, just ahead of Shad Swatsworth in the 51, Tristan Bailey in the 24, Jamie Haynes and Jeremy Brio rounding out the top 10 with the 194 of Justin Williams getting close. Cars getting a bit too close for comfort now. They're spread out from 11th on back. They've had to let off the gas, and they lost that momentum now. The top 8 cars, well, no, the top 11 cars, you could say, separated from the top 9, but lots of cars that are running a couple of laps down still up in this pack. So this is a big problem for Team Arcs running 10th, 11th, and 12th, now separated from this lead pack. There's Jamie Haynes in 9th, a part of this lead run. There you can see the gap back to Team Arcs. They're in deep trouble as these cars up ahead starting to pull away. Ed Shearer still leading, John Holiday behind him, Logan Joyner in 3rd, 9, 88, 69, your top 3. Commando Griff says, oops, looked like Pete. No, you're exactly right. Repeat was driving that car as they're wrecking behind him. The 22 of Zach Taylor again involved in an accident, and this time he couldn't keep the dents out of it. He gets it moving back under his own power, but let's go back and see what happened with Zach Taylor in car 22. Did he lose it by himself? He wrecks right in front of the 43 car, and it looks like nobody else got involved. Let's run this one back here. And it looks like the 22 did just get loose. Let's run this at a quarter speed. Let's go to the 43 of Cody Sturgill. Let's get a different angle on this, what they call the chopper cam. Let's speed it up a bit. And there was contact between the 43 and the 22. Let's run this one back. All right, let's get a close look from the chase cam here of the 22. And let's see. Keep your eye on the left quarter panel. Contact. Well, and it almost, I mean, I guess you could even call it net code. That's the term in iRacing, is net code, when the cars almost don't make contact, but apparently they do. Let's go to the 43 and go to the rear chase cam. Is there contact? Again, it looks like net code, but you can see the sheet metal fold on these cars. Taylor does get a tap one way or another. And that's all she wrote there for Zach Taylor. Suave555 says, I love the slow-mo. I love it too. We can go back to cautions, and we can really analyze and see what happens with that slow mode. Justin Williams now being scored as the leader. Promise we'll do more slow-mo here tonight, Suave. So we're going to go ahead and take a quick 60-second break before we talk to one of our drivers and get rolling again. Caution is out for the 6th time this evening. We're going to go ad-free for the next 21 minutes with this 60-second break. Don't go anywhere. We're going to have a driver interview when we come back. In the meantime, click this link. Give in the name of your favorite team racing tonight. Help out the Alpha-1 Foundation, and let's save lives together. We'll be back in 60. Back at the virtual Talladega Superspeedway, let's bother Cody Pennell real quick and ask him how his evening's going so far. Cody Pennell, Rick James up top. You got me, buddy?
Yeah, I got you, Rick.
Cody, you got a half lap to green here. You just sat in the car. How does it feel coming to the final hour 45 of the evening?
Feels pretty great out front, Rick. Hopefully we can keep it here and run the rest of the race clean and bring this thing home.
It's been involved in a couple of incidents tonight. Is it still driving as sweet as it did when the green flag flew?
Oh yeah, this thing's a bullet. So we still got 2 fast repairs to fall back on, and I think we're in a pretty good position here.
Who's your biggest challenge tonight?
Probably this 99 car right next to me.
Arcs on arcs action. All right. So we're going to enjoy the rest of the race. We hope you do the same, Cody. Good luck.
All right, Rick. Appreciate it, Rick.
Downton Gaming in the chat says, "Go team. Get it, boys." Cheering for his ARCS teammates. The 12 of Cody Pennell, the 99 of Jeremy Brio, and then you recently saw the 194 coming down pit road. Terry Gabbard now taking over the wheel for that 194 car. So back at the front of this race, lights are out on the pace car. We're going to get rolling one more time. Now inside the final 2 hours of competition. Pace cars peeling off, waiting for the green flag at Talladega. A $1.49 remains in the race. Pennell, Brio, Holiday, your top 3. Green flag is out. Three wide with Scott Healy now on the outside. Cody Pennell to the front of this race. Brio in second. John Holiday, the first car on the outside, trying to get closer. He's in front of the 9 of Edward Shearer, and that looks like the 51 car of Shad Swatsworth. No, that's one of the other Tundras. Looks like the 21 of... No, not at all. Riding just behind the 9. That's Tristan Bailey in the 24. I always confuse that 24 of Tristan Bailey for a teammate of the 51. But at the front, using that outside line, John Holiday to the lead in the Alpha-1 88 Chevrolet. New leader at Talladega with a $1.45 to go on the clock. Down the back straight, it's Holiday, Shearer, Bailey, now your top 3. Cody Pennell falls from 1st to 4th. Michael Kinsley in the number 8 car shoots up to 5th. Now inside the final 2 hours of the Alpha-1 600. Change for the lead one more time. This time it's Ed Shearer in the number 9. He's got Cody Pennell pushing him along. Brio now moves into the 3rd position. John Holiday sitting in 4th. Coming out of turn number 2, Tristan Bailey following Holiday in that 24 car. Now to the inside, both of the RMS cars. the 69 and the 21 of Logan Joyner and Nathan Mann, nose to tail into turn 3, starting to get dicey now. Drivers trying to find teammates and work more efficiently with each other again. The 51 of Shad Swatsworth now shooting to the inside. He's behind the 6 of Mike Campbell. So much for being at the front. John Holiday now shifted all the way back to 11th. The 43 car now behind him. That's Sam Harrell being scored 17th on the tail end of this lead lap pack. At the front, it's Shearer, Pinnell, Brio, 9, 12, 99, your top 3. Big shout out to John Fry, who just put in 10 bits in the chat, and he asks, do they get subs? They indeed do get subs, Uncle Fry. Appreciate you. Look how close the gap is between first and second. Now out of the 4th corner, approaching the golden hour at virtual Talladega. Hopefully we don't miss any action out on the track, but let's take one of my favorite cams here. Let's ride along with Ryan Pinnell now that we have some single file peace and quiet, and enjoy the sights and sounds of the leader of Edward Shearer leading the 12. If you've never done iRacing before, let me tell you, it is quite the experience. It is kind of the ultimate in sim racing, and if you want to give it a shot, get yourself a gaming PC or go to a friend's house that has a gaming PC, subscribe to iRacing even for a month, even on a controller. It's still a blast, let alone getting a wheel, pedals, and some actual rigs here. But it's quite a lot of fun. I want to give a shout out to Boda86, who followed here in this last half hour. Big Zerk following in the last hour. Mama Beast following. Volsfan, who hosted an hour ago. Again, shout out to Kool-Aid for the bits, and Frydog, who put 9 bits earlier in this evening. Shearer still leading over Cody Pinnell. Logan Joyner sitting in 4th. And you can just see where we've lost some of our competitors. Jamie Haynes on the tail end of this lead pack right here. John Holiday falling off the draft now as he's trying to catch up to Shad Swatsworth. And then all the way at the back, leading this secondary pack, you've got Joe Tardif in the 48. Michael York sitting in the 42 car. He now takes the wheel in that RMS Motorsports car. David Trumbley is second in line. Trumbley sitting 15th right now, being scored a lap down. John Fry says, "You're real, bud." Swab55 says, "Hey Fry, long time no see, bud. Glad that these guys are making acquaintances." Trumbley now looking to the inside of the 48 car of Tardif. Everybody makes it through okay. Behind that 43 car of Sam Harrell, you see the 42. of Adam Rowe, the lone Canadian in tonight's field. He's got the 81 now looking to his outside. That's another one of those Toyotas. I believe one of only 2 Toyotas in tonight's race. It's kind of uncanny. Josh Bromfield in that car just ahead of the 28 of Dave Lamaga. Now to the outside of the 20 of Adam Rowe. These 3 cars having their own private little fight. John Holliday in the 88 now back at the tail end of this front pack. So far, no challenge for the lead now inside the final hour 41 of this race. Earlier we heard drivers can go about 40 laps on one pit window. They last pitted on lap 238, now on lap 250. So still about another 30 laps if we make it that far. Fans, if you've just recently joined us, I'm Rick James, bringing you the uninterrupted green flag coverage of the Alpha-1 Foundation 600. And if you want to know all about Alpha-1, go to alpha1.org. And if you want to help the cause, click this link. And at that link, that's the form where you can go online. You can donate to support the team. You can join a team. You can give in the name of whatever team you like. There's an honor roll for the teams that have donated. It's an unbelievable, wonderful organization that helps fund the research and help fight against the Alpha-1, the diseases that come from the Alpha-1 gene that passes down from parents to their children, causing a lot of diseases with our lungs, with our livers, things that, sometimes we frankly might take for granted. But click on that link, donate, and make a difference. Help the good folks at Alpha-1. Our goal, $3,000 tonight. So far, we've raised $2,502 of that goal. We're 83% of the way there. Help us hit that goal. We're only $500 away. These iRacing drivers from across the nation have come together to take on one of the largest racetracks in the world in this virtual 6-hour endurance race tonight to raise awareness and funds to help find a cure for the Alpha-1 antitrypsin deficiency. We're so glad you're here. Help us find a cure for this Alpha-1 deficiency. Help us save the lives of our friends, our family. We still have another $138, and we're only $500 short of our goal. Scherer still leading at the front of this race. Cody Pennell and Jeremy Brio up 10 spots from where they started. Michael Kinsley and Jamie Haynes right now 2 of the biggest movers, but you've got to give it up to the 48 of Joe Tardif. Tardif up 14 spots from where this 48 car started, right now running 12th on the racetrack. $254 laps now complete at the Talladega Superspeedway. Still another hour 37 remains. Pit stops about 25 laps away. We'll see if we get that far, but now you can see the patience has worn thin. Drivers no longer spread out. They are getting close to each other. That is the 78 of Jim Pankow in the Alpha-1 car, slow on the outside. And I've got to say, loving the paint scheme on that one. And that's not just because it has my logo on it. No, it's because it's got Atlanta Racing and Frozen Toes as well. Let me give some love to my fellow broadcasters. Big thank you to Frozen Toes 24 and Atlanta Racing for carrying this race for the first 3 hours. We're here all the way to the end, and the top 2 starting to break away, trying to find some relief. That's Edward Scherer and Cody Pennell now working together in the MTC and the ARCS teams. from the front end of Shearer. Single file and pretty calm compared to where these standards have been so far. The first half hour of this race had about 3 different cautions in it, but things have calmed down for the time being. Jeremy Brio, however, falling off of this pace. The 69 of Logan Joyner getting close. He's got his RMS teammate behind him in Nathan Mann, and then Mike Kinsley up 13 spots from where he started in the number 8 Rep Sports Raise Energy Chevy. Brio in the 99, now catching back up to the back end of the 12. Are these two ARCS cars, second and third, making a move for the lead? Suave 555 says, I'm already done, bud. Ran the first stint. Talking about Suave running the first part of this race earlier. Now on to the second bit for him there. Suave, I appreciate you so much, buddy. Thank you for hanging out in this chat. The 9 of Ed Shearer still leading. Cody Pennell now in second. And Brio in third. These top 3 trying to break away, but the draft just too strong at Dega. I wonder if the sun is posing a problem for these drivers. We'll have an onboard view coming out of 3. Maybe we can see what these drivers are seeing. Some slower cars up front. Is that the 194 that's slow up front? That is indeed Justin Williams, well off the pace in the 18th position, 2 laps down. And now the 194, one of the ARCS cars, well off the mark, about to be overtaken. Uncle Fry putting 10 bits in the chat. Thank you, Unc. Save your hard-earned money, Uncle Fry. Click the link. Give in the name of your favorite Alpha-1 race team tonight. Way more important than giving your money to my dusty bum. Don't worry about me, buddy. Let's take care of the folks over at Alpha-1 tonight. But thank you for your generosity. You are the man. Williams singing at full song, but here comes the cavalry. Williams now moving to the outside, getting out of the way of everybody else. John Fry 32 says, I'm figuring out I had bits. Yeah, those little bits you can cheer. Thank you, Uncle Fry. Appreciate you so much, my friend. Edward Shearer now leading the inside charge to the inside of car 194. So Justin Williams will go 3 laps down in his Ford Mustang. At the front, it is Chevy, Ford, Chevy, your top 3. That looks to be another one of the RMS cars there. The 78 of Jim Panko slow there. Dean Brummett in the 7 car getting out of the way. Good looking RMS car there, and there goes the field down to his inside. Good on you, Dino, for getting out of the way there. Dave Lamaga slow behind the 81 car of Josh Bromfield. These two in a tandem trying to get closer up towards the front. Tristan Bailey rocking that number 24 behind the number 8 of Michael Kinsley. Trying to get closer up through this race. It's been mostly a waiting game, and it will be for the next hour. I can't wait to see what these drivers are going to come up with in the last 30 minutes, and you won't want to miss that either. Ed Shearer still at the front now. Drivers about to complete 261 laps. So that's going to be 20 laps since they all last pitted. Probably another 10 to 15 laps before the pit window kicks in. There you can see the drivers spreading out single file once again. Shearer, Pennell, Brio, your top three. Logan Joyner in fourth, Nate Mann in fifth. So far, so good at the front of this race. Single file for most of these drivers now. Jamie Haynes at the tail end of this front pack in the number 11 Alpha-1 Chevrolet behind his teammate John Holliday. Now getting close to the 6 of Mike Campbell. So these cars, 8th, 10th, and 11th, perhaps trying to get some sort of draft work going. The 51 of Chad Swatsworth, the only wedge in that Alpha-1 train. Kinsley in the 8, Tristan Bailey in the 24, nose to tail. These two drivers, will they amount to something large at the front of this one? Getting closer now, pit stops certainly on the minds of a lot of these drivers. Both the 8 and the 24 driving for MTC Racing, so they are teammates. They will be looking to work together. Ed Shearer in the 9 car, also teammates with the 8 and the 24, but he's got a couple of ARCS cars behind him. The 12 of Cody Pennell, the 99 of Jeremy Brio, and then looking behind them, the 69 of Logan Joyner, the 21 of Nathan Mann, nose to tail, and here come the pit stops. Green flag stops now underway inside the final hour and a half. There's Ed Shearer now, still up ahead in the 9 car, but that's going to put Logan Joyner and Ed Mann second and third. RMS Motorsports now with the advantage, but when? When will the RMS cars come down pit road for their tires and fuel? None of the leaders coming down this time by, so what strategy are the ARCS cars pulling? Certainly an unorthodox move for those two cars to come down when they did. There's the 12 of Pennell, there's the 99 of Brio, teammates and separated well off the mark. So they're going to have to catch up to each other to work together. What game are they playing at? Because here comes the lead lap cavalry, and if these leaders don't pit soon, those two ARCS cars are going to be in a world of hurt. At the back end of the top 10, Joe Tardif up 16 spots from where he started in that green number 48. He's ahead of David Tremblay, who's being scored 15th, despite these cars being in a 3 Chevy tandem. Adam Rowe driving the number 20 Alpha-1 car all by his lonesome. Mike York in the 42 for RMS. He's behind this 3-car tandem. And the ARCS cars, this duo here, not looking good for them. Arcs Racing Network's cheering 5 bits in the chat. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you. Love you. Hope you're enjoying the race so far. We know Ed Shearer's enjoying it so far. Logan Joyner sitting in second. Nate Mann rocking the 3rd position. And again, just biding their time now. And I'm guessing that these two ARCS cars of Pinnell and Brio were gambling on a caution to come out soon. Gambling on anything to come out soon at this point. Shearer in the 9. Ahead of Logan Joyner, Nate Mann. Kinsley, Tristan Bailey rounding out the top 5. Are pit stops coming? Are they getting closer? They seem to be spreading out and hanging back, possibly saving fuel. It's anybody's guess. There's still so much racing left. Drivers now 30 laps from the last time they pitted. So if it does go green for the next 10 laps, expect green flag pit stops to begin. Cars diligently following each other. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Everybody in one single file. But certainly trying to stay in that single file fashion. It's been a clean race in this third of this second half. Simcoe Racing in the chat says, wish I was in that 99 car today like I was scheduled. Let's go, boys. He's cheering for Jeremy Brio, currently sitting in the 14th position. But these guys need the leaders to pit because now the leaders have those two ARCS cars in their sights. Joyner happily sitting in the second position as the virtual golden sunshine pours over the Talladega Superspeedway. Fans at home, if you've just recently joined us, I'm Rick James, bringing you uninterrupted green flag coverage of the final 3 hours of the Alpha-1 Foundation Challenge. Edward Shearer has led almost every single one, if not every lap, since we restarted this race. But there is some gamesmanship afoot. 2 of the ARCS cars came down for tires and for fuel just a few laps ago. Are they trying to force the hand from some of these leaders to come into pit road before they want to? Campbell sitting in the 6th position now, ahead of Shad Swatsworth. Who's going to work with who? Shearer still leading in that number 9 so far, single file. There are the 2 ARCS belligerents that need something to happen before they get trapped a lap down. Dave Lamaga in the same boat, sitting in that number 28 behind the 81 of Josh Bromfield. And now we've got activity. Here come pit stops. There come the leaders, and there the floodgates have opened. Everybody coming down. It is a mass migration down into pit road. Look at all these race cars filing down, and we certainly don't want any of them to speed. It would, and there's a wreck down on pit road. The 8 cars gone around. Kinsley's been turned around on his way into pit road. Let's run this one back. Kinsley gets turned around, and that looks like the 6 car of Mike Campbell trying to get into his pit stall. Kinsley trying to get into his pit stall, and bam. Now damage for these race cars to fix on their way into pit road. Extra time they're going to have to spend getting the cars repaired. That's going to put Jamie Haynes at the front of this race, but briefly, as Haynes will now come down pit road in his Alpha-1 Chevrolet. Ed Shearer in the 9, back out on track, getting up to speed with the 24 of Tristan Bailey right behind him. And look at the gap that these 2 cars have on the rest of the field behind them. There's the 69 of Logan Joyner, the 21 of Nathan Mann behind him, and Chad Swansworth pushing the 21 of Mann. So now it's going to be a scramble to get back up to each other to draft back to the front. There's Shearer, there's Haynes now leaving pit road. There's Ed Shearer going around the outside. New leader, Ed Shearer. Logan Joyner now running in the 4th position ahead of Nathan Mann. So those RMS cars back together. So it's a 3-car tandem here. Michael York in the 42, now up 17 spots with the pit strategy. But here come the ARCS cars. Cody Pennell leading the 99 of Jeremy Brio back into 7th and 8th. No longer having the freshest tires out on track, but they do have warmer tires, and they'll be able to have just a bit more grip as they scythe their way back through the field. So now cars are spread out all over this racetrack with an hour 18 remaining. Tristan Bailey in that 24 car. Will he be patient? Will he push the envelope on Shearer, approaching the final hour 15? Look at just the gap there. It's 2.5 seconds between Tristan Bailey and Logan Joyner. But look at this pack here. 5 cars now needing desperately to get in line if they want to get back to the leaders. There is strength in numbers if they can line up properly. And here comes the rest of the cars behind them, led by the 12 of Cody Pennell in 6th. Brio, York, Tardif, and Haynes now bringing these 5 cars up closer to these 5 cars, and then they'll have 10 cars in one line to take Ed Shearer and Tristan Bailey. The gap between 2nd and 3rd, 3 seconds. Approaching the lapped car, that looks to be the 78 of Jim Panko, and it is indeed Jim Panko now on the outside, giving way to the leaders. Good move for Jim. There's Kinsley in the 8 car. Mike Kinsley now working with John Holliday, trying to get closer to the leaders. Kinsley being scored in the 12th position now. Up in 11th, there's John Holliday. Jamie Haynes is in that 11 car up ahead. At the tail end of this tandem, there's Ed Shearer. The gap between second and third, still 3 seconds. There's Logan Joyner just entering the tri-oval. It is an immense gap for only 2 cars at the front. The status quo remains at the front with Ed Shearer leading Tristan Bailey, and there's Logan Joyner 3.8 seconds behind second place. Finally, these cars getting in one single file line, but it has taken them so long that the top 2 have been able to spread a lead larger than the 10 cars behind them. Now, all of these cars in one single file line, and they should be able to organize and take these leaders down. 3.8 seconds is the gap between second and third. The leaders last pitting on lap 274. If it goes green for the next 20 laps, you can expect more green flag pit stops then. Fans at home, if you've been here for a while and you're wondering what the Alpha-1 Foundation is, well, it is a foundation to help fund research, awareness, and help find a cure for the Alpha-1 antitrypsin deficiency. All these drivers from across the nation and even the world, because we have a Canadian with us, let's not forget, they're here to take on Talladega in this 6-hour race to help raise awareness and funds to help find this cure for the Alpha-1 deficiency. This Alpha-1 deficiency it is a hereditary gene passed down from parents to children, and it causes complications in many diseases with our lungs, with our livers, and it's something that we can desperately use the effort to help fight against, to help our friends, to help our loved ones. Click on that link in the chat. Give to the good folks at Alpha-1. We are just $500 short of our goal. We've got another hour 12 to go. Give a gift, save a life, all in the name of racing. We've got just over an hour remaining in this race. The gap between second and third, 5 seconds now. It is uncanny what Ed Shearer and Tristan Bailey are doing at the front of this race. Logan Joyner and company cannot close this gap. Joyner with Swatsworth behind him. Behind Swatsworth is the 8 car, not the 12 car, of Michael Kinsley. Kinsley finding himself 1 lap down after that round of pit stops. but he is the first car 1 lap down. If the yellow does come out, Kinsley will put his MTC Chevrolet back on the lead lap and in contention to win. Cody Pannell now to the outside of the 6 car, not for position, but just for advancement. He's got his ARC's teammate, the number 99 car of Jeremy Brio, right behind him. 12 car, tandem with the 99. 12 car dips to the inside and leaves his ARC's teammate behind. 99 dips to the inside as well, so both the cars falling back in line. They'll put the nose-to-tail camaraderie on hold for now and just focus on getting closer to the leaders. Tristan Bailey and Ed Shearer, they now have a couple of cars not on the lead lap, but also helping them through. You've got a couple of MTC cars in the 9 and the 24, a couple of Alpha-1 cars in the 78 and the 20, now forming a 4-car tandem to break away from the other 10 behind them, and it's working. 5.5 seconds is now the gap from 3rd to 2nd. How do you like that? Let's ride along now with Logan Joyner for a lap in the 69 car. See how smooth he gets around Talladega. Swatsworth now looking to the inside, and this secondary pack is never going to catch the leaders now, fighting for this 3rd position. Swatsworth now goes to the inside. Joyner left in the middle with no draft help, and he is hung out to dry with an hour 9 remaining. He gets right in front of the 21 of Nathan Mann, and now the roll cars. Nose to tail to nose. That's Michael York in the 42 now on the inside line trying to catch up with his RMS teammates. The gap between 2nd and 3rd, a full 7 seconds now. Shad Swatsworth now in the 3rd position. Logan Joyner being scored 4th in that 69. But the 8 car of Michael Kinsley and the 6 of Mike Campbell, both a lap down. Both of these cars fighting to be ahead of the other, for if a caution does come out, either the 8 or the 6 will be the first car 1 lap down, and they will get that spot. They will go back to the lead lap, excuse me. Seven seconds the gap between 1st and 3rd, but then it's nothing but 1 full second between 3rd and 9th as you see them running, and then Joe Tardif being scored in 10th, just off the pace of this pack. He's catching up to the back end of the 11 of Michael Haynes. David Tremblay in the 00 car. He's now rocking with the 88 car. That's John Holliday, who's just up ahead in the 11th position. Tremblay finding himself in 14th, a 2nd lap down. Jim Panko in the 78 falling off the pace of the leader. Adam Rowe now coming down pit road, and the drivers have now reached lap 290. Last pitting on lap 74. So if that tells you anything, we're approaching pit stops about 10 laps from now. How far Will they make it? Now the ARCS cars, the 12 of Cody Pennell, the 99 of Jeremy Brio. They were at the front when they pitted last time. They've lost time on that delta. They'll be needing to come in roughly 5 to 10 laps from now. Will they lose that lap? Will they lose the opportunity to win the race? Because with an hour to go, it may be down to the cautions to keep cars bundled together. And if they're not on the lead lap, that could be their race win opportunity gone. The lead starting to dwindle for the top two. Shad Swatsworth now closing the gap from first to third inside 6 seconds, and it's starting to get smaller right before pit stops. Suave 555 says, doing great, bud. 1 more hour, and that's all we have now. 65 minutes in this Alpha-1 Foundation Challenge. That's the 194 ARCS car of Justin Williams removing himself from the equation, now sticking to the outside. Tristan Bailey in the second position in car 24, 6.2 seconds ahead of Shad Swatsworth and Logan Joyner. Not to forget the lap down race, the lucky dog race between Mike Kinsley in the 8 and Mike Campbell in car number 6. There are the top two. You can see that third on back are starting to close that precious gap. Now within 6 seconds and getting closer. Joe Tardif at the back of this one, but now these cars, they're going to struggle to find their place as well as the time winds down. Pit stops looming for the ARCS team. Cody Pennell and Jeremy Brio running 6th and 7th, last pitting on lap 265, now approaching lap 295, which was the approximate length of their last stint. How far do they dare go this time around? Ed Scherer at the front still, with Tristan Bailey in unwavering support in the final hour two. Logan Joyner sitting fourth, pushing Shad Swatsworth ahead. They've closed that gap from second to third inside 5 seconds now. But how long will the ARCS cars hang on? Did their gamble for the yellow flag pay off, or will it start to bite them in the aft end? Josh Bromfield in the 81, the 28 car rocking with him as well. David Lamaga, and you cannot forget that 7 car right there, Dean Brummett. These 3 finding themselves 1 lap down. Will they get back into contention? Still so much race to go. Swatsworth has been slowly chipping away at Tristan Bailey. Take a look in the bottom right-hand side of your corner. There you can see Swatsworth has been closing that gap to Bailey more and more over the last 6 laps. Bailey just getting closer every single lap. Now inside 4 3/4 seconds. We'll see what the gap is this time around. There's 1 car coming down pit road there, not one of the ARC's cars. That's the 78 of Jim Pankow coming down for tires and fuel. This time across the line, the 51 of Swatsworth gets even closer to Bailey. 1 hour is all that remains on the clock. Tristan Bailey in the 24. Now they no longer have the help from Jim Pankow in the 78, so the gap will dwindle even further. 4.5 seconds as the laps tick down closer to the pit window. What will the ARC's drivers do? Will they be able to hang on long enough? Shearer has led an impressive number of laps this evening. The New York pilot has been dominant in that 9 car, but for how much longer? Where will the levee break? 59 minutes to go in this race. That's not laps, that's minutes. Swatsworth sitting in 3rd, now inside the final 4 seconds between himself and Tristan Bailey. The top 2 would do well to pit now. How long will they go? It's not a race to the laps, it's a race to the time. 58 minutes now remain at Dega. Nathan Mann in the number 21 car. Now rocking behind his teammate in the 69, Logan Joyner. Do the RMS cars have anything remaining approaching the final 57 minutes of competition? Justin Williams in the 194 coming down pit road for tires and fuel. That's one of the ARC's cars. Here's another one of the ARC's cars, the 10 of Cody Pennell, now sitting 10th, well off the pace. Did they just come down pit road? Oh, they did. Pitting on lap 300. So that's Cody Pennell and Jeremy Brio both coming down pit road. So that means these leaders are next in the next 5 laps. Expect to see green flag stops. With a caution, it could be the final green flag stops they make. The gap now inside 2.85 seconds. The 51 of Shad Swatsworth muscling his way to the 3rd position, and here he is leading this secondary pack right before what could be the final stops of the night. Leaders still have not come down, but you better believe they're planning it now. Everybody starting to give each other space. You can just smell and see and taste and hear the anticipation in what could be the most important pit stop of the evening. Ed Shearer leading this race, still not coming down pit road. None of the cars behind them also coming down pit road. The sun casting gorgeous shadows all over the racetrack now. Shearer sitting in second. Bailey following him along. Let's ride along with Tristan Bailey right before the pit stops. Tristan Bailey now with the 78 right behind them again, but 2 seconds is now the gap. The teams behind him have finally caught them up. Shad Swatsworth with help from the 8 of Michael Kinsley, still sitting in the lucky dog position inside the final hour of the Alpha-1 Foundation 6-hour race. This is where it's going to start to get spicy. This is where it's going to heat up. Everybody getting anxious, getting settled in for that final stint. Teams trying to decide who's going to be the driver that takes the car all the way to the finish, and do they have the skills to pay the bills when it counts. Here are the ARCS cars about to go one lap down. The 12 and the 99 of Cody Pennell and Jeremy Brio now to the inside of Ed Shearer and Tristan Bailey. The leaders losing even more time now. Swatsworth with the inside, the final 2.5 seconds. The leaders still not coming down pit road, but still not able to overtake the 12 and the 99. Now the 24 of Bailey clears Cody Pennell in the 12. And the 12 and the 99. Well, the 12 now the first car one lap down. So Cody Pennell now in the lucky dog position. Jeremy Brio right behind him. And now these two certainly hoping that the caution does not come out, because then the team will be separated again. They've already lost Williams in the 194. They cannot lose the second of 3 cars. There go the leaders. There go the leaders, and here comes everybody else. So Ed Shearer and Tristan Bailey now down pit road by their lonesome, being joined by the 78 of Jim Pankow. That's going to put Shad Swatsworth to the lead with 52 minutes remaining. Now here comes the rest of the field. Swatsworth is in. Joyner is coming with him. The 8 of Kinsley, the 6 of Campbell still staying out on the racetrack. Logan Joyner goes to the lead. If the caution comes out now, it will be the 69 car scored as the leader. Now Jamie Haynes briefly leading down pit road, and this could be the most dangerous part of the race. A speeding penalty now could spell disaster. Brummett's crashed. Dean Brummett has gone around. Will the yellow flag come out? We're still green. We're still green. Brummett by himself on the inside. No harm, no foul. 50 minutes remaining in this race. Dean Brummett in the 7 goes off track. Logan Joyner now being scored as the sole leader. Nathan Mann right behind him. Here comes Tristan Bailey leading. There's Bailey. Now around the outside. Joyner won't be able to hold off the 9 of Ed Shearer, but he will get in front of him. Look at the move here. Does Shearer overtake him headed into 3? He's got the speed. Joyner reluctantly gives way. Ed Shearer to the inside, and Shearer now to the point at Talladega with 50 minutes to go. There's his teammate Tristan Bailey, but they've lost the delta time because Logan Joyner has gotten back on their rear ends, and Swatsworth within a second of the leaders now. Brilliant move for everybody behind the top 2 to wait 1 lap. 49 minutes now remain in this race, and by waiting the extra lap, they've gained a half second of delta time from those green flag stops. Shearer still leading, but now Logan Joyner carrying the flag for Roll Motorsports, sitting in 3rd, Nathan Mann in 4th, and the 78 car of Jim Pankow sitting several laps down, the wedge between them. Pankow removing himself from the equation as he's been doing all night long. Once again, big shout out to Jim Pankow doing the kind thing for our drivers tonight. Shearer still in front. 49 minutes remain in this race. But will it be enough for them to stay out front? Will they have to come down pit road? 48 minutes is all that's left now. Between Nathan Mann in 4th and Jamie Haynes in the 5th position, it is 3.7 seconds. There's Shad Swatsworth. Got the raw end of the deal on that one. Did not take advantage of the delta like the RMS cars. And now all those cars, those 10 cars, 3rd through 11th, now lost the draft. There's Cody Pennell sitting in the 7th position. There's these 5 cars now nose to tail, but they now have to get ahead, get in a single file line, and try to desperately catch up to the leaders. So Ed Shearer still leads here. Suave 555 says KSG to the lead. That was briefly during that pit stop exchange. Now that it seems like everybody has gotten sorted, it looks like it's going to be MTC with Ed Shearer and Tristan Bailey versus Logan Joyner and Nate Mann in the RMS cars. Then behind them, Jamie Haynes racing for Alpha-1, Shad Swatsworth racing for the Swatsworth team in 5th and 6th. Huge shout out to Jamie Haynes and Joe Tardif moving up 16 and 17 positions from the original starting spot. Unbelievable job tonight. But will they have enough tires and fuel to go all the way to the end? We're inside the final 45 minutes of racing now. Fans at home, 45 more minutes to meet our goal to give to the Alpha-1 Foundation. There's the link right there. Click on that link. Go to Alpha-1's donation website and help us meet our goal of $3,000. We're just $500 short of that goal. You can search for your team name, donate through that team name, and we can see what team gives the most money at the end of the night. So much to be raised this evening for such a wonderful foundation. We're raising awareness and funds to help find a cure for Alpha-1 deficiency. All of these drivers coming together to take on one of the world's biggest and most famous racetracks. What started tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern now winds down into that golden Talladega sunset. And the sun, there you see it, now starting to become a problem for these drivers in turn number 3. And you can see that sunshine bathing this track in a beautiful golden light as we bring an end to what has been an amazing night of festivities. Lurk and Tom Gaming in the chat says, let's go, Team Arcs. He's cheering for Cody Pennell in the 5th position and Jeremy Brio in the 6th position. They also have their Arcs teammate, Justin Williams, right behind him, currently running 17th. When will these cars make a move? Nate Mann in the number 21 behind his teammate Logan Joyner in the 69. Plenty of race to go. Still 43 minutes remaining in this event. But they've got to time it out carefully. John Holliday in the 88 car, he's now behind the 42 of Michael York. These two running nose to tail, but York is in the 10th position, Holliday in the 15th position. Josh Bromfield in the 81, he's been drafting with the 28 car of Dave Lamaga all night, and then the 00 of David Trumbly. Lamaga and Trumbly being scored 13th and 14th. The 81 of Josh Bromfield in the 18th position. These cars to the outside of Mike Campbell. He's driving for the Alpha-1 team in that number 6 Chevy Camaro. Shearer and Bailey still rocking the show at the front of this one. You can see the RMS cars getting closer together, plotting a move now. Cars starting to wiggle left and right. Where will they find themselves 42 minutes from now? So the top two haven't changed since that last restart a long time ago in a galaxy far away. Jamie Haynes in the 7th position, now behind this second pack right here, being led by Cody Pennell in 5th. All eyes right now on when the next pit stop will come. Cody Pennell and Jeremy Brio of Team Arcs last pitting on lap 300. Everybody else pitting mostly on lap 309, and these drivers now approaching lap 321. So we will definitely see one more pit stop, possibly two, before this one is over. Drivers able to go about 30 laps on a fuel run, not the 40 that we had previously anticipated. So with the drivers last pitting on 300, we're about 9 laps away from seeing the ARC drivers having to come down pit road, and then the leaders, Shearer, Bailey, Joyner, and Mann, when will they pit? What strategy will they play? The top two losing half a second on that last delta, but now the gap between 4th place, Nathan Mann, back to Cody Pennell in 5th is 6.5 seconds. What's happening to that lead? There's the time delta between Cody Pennell and Nathan Mann, and you can see it's been even across both drivers. So Pennell not really able to put a dent into that lead. He's inside the final 6 seconds now, but is there enough time in the remaining 39 minutes to get back up to the lead and challenge for the win? Fans at home, if you've just recently joined us, I'm Rick James, bringing you uninterrupted green flag coverage of the last 3 hours of the Alpha-1 Foundation 600 Challenge. We're now inside the final 38 minutes of racing, eagerly awaiting the next round of green flag pit stops. Ed Shearer, Tristan Bailey at the front. They've been at the front for an extremely long time, but will they survive the next round of green flag stops? Cody Pennell and Jeremy Brio, they'll be next to make pit stops in the next 5 laps. Will it be the last or the second to last pit stop before the race ends? Rock NASCAR 388 putting some Alpha-1 emojis in the chat. Love you, Rocky. Glad to have you here, my friend. Thank you so much. Shearer still leading, eagerly awaiting the ARCS cars to come down pit road. Will any of these lap down cars be able to make one more charge before the race is over? So much still left to play for. Suave saying what up to Rock NASCAR 388. Inside final 35 minutes at the Talladega Superspeedway, Michael York having an incident in that 42 car. We stay green as the RMS car now slow on the inside. Will York make it back up to speed? He will. And don't get blinded by the sun, Mike. Oof. Even in a simulator, that is a blinding light. Will it affect how these drivers behave in 3 and 4? But I'll tell you what, I've never seen Talladega more beautiful than in this gorgeous golden hour, the final half hour coming up in the Alpha-1 600. Now look at this pack back here. You've got the 48 of Joe Tardif, the 8 of Michael Kinsley, the 6 of Mike Campbell. Everybody, they thought they were fighting to be the first car on a lap down. Now that's Michael York, who's by himself in 3. But now this gang, 6 cars strong, chasing down York, and they will be fighting for that lucky dog position. Starting to get dicey here. You see Mike Kinsley now having to defend himself from Mike Campbell in the 6. And there's the 48. The 48 of Joe Tardif been turned around, and there's the caution right there with 33 minutes remaining right before the pit stops were set to come out, and it looks like Josh Bromfield's also been involved, and seemingly out of nowhere, the 48 car of Joe Tardif gets turned by the 8 of Michael Kinsley, and the 7th caution in the second half of this race comes out. Let's go back and have a look there, because it looks like the 48 of Joe Tardif, just look at the damage to Joe Tardif, running 9th on the first car, 1 lap down now, but Tardif seemed to be on the lead lap at the moment of caution. Let's go around, have a look, and see what happened at Joe Tardif. Oh, and the 81 and the 28 collect Tardif. All right, now we got to go to the 8 of Mike Kinsley and see what happened here. Oh, and it's already started here. Let's dial this back and see exactly what happened between the 8 and the 43. The hands, oh, and I just messed up. Let's run this back, and let's take it just a little bit slower now, because it starts well beyond this. Let's have a look from the rear bumper of car 48. That's Joe Tardif. We're approaching the tri-oval now, and you're about to see the 8 of Mike Kinsley all over the back end of car 48. So it looks like, and that bottom lane, I tell you what, in the final half hour when you're racing, that bottom lane looked open, and it seems like the 48 went high. The 8 tried to go with him, and at that point, there's the contact, and just nowhere for the 48 to go, and the 81 of Josh Bromfield's about to collect him right here. Boom. Nothing you could do. Oof. And that's all you can do. There's the 48 of Joe Tardif up in the 9th position at the moment of caution. And now if he's out of fast repairs, he's going to have to spend an absurd amount of time, potentially the rest of the race in pit road. So Ed Shearer now at the front of this race, with Tristan sitting in 2nd. Cody Pennell being scored in the 3rd spot. Everybody now coming down pit road, at least all of the leaders in the lead lap cars coming down pit road for tires and for fuel, and everybody's going to be bunched back up with just a half hour remaining. This is going to be insane. This is going to be something special. So we're under caution with the final half hour on the line. Fans at home are going to take a quick 60-second break, and then we'll be back for the conclusion of the Alpha-1 Foundation 600. Don't go anywhere. Back in 60. Lights are off on the pace car. Let's see if we can bother Jeremy Brio before he gets back to work here. Jeremy Brio, Rick James in the booth. You got me?
Yeah, I got you.
Jeremy, we're in the final half hour of the show. This could be the final caution of the evening, and you may as well just have made the final pit stop, so you got what you got. Is it enough?
Yeah, I mean, as long as we can get around this 9 and this 24 here, I think we got a pretty good shot at it. But I know they're going to block because they've been complaining about us the entire race. But besides that, if they decide to race this clean, we should have a good shot at them.
They've been up at the front, leading the majority of the laps here. It's going to take some teamwork. Is it going to be an inside or an outside lane kind of move?
It's going to be a left, right, inside, outside, and under on a magic carpet ride kind of move.
So we're expecting to see some magic and some shake and bake, Jeremy. Best of luck tonight, my friend. Hope you have a good time.
Thanks, Rick.
Well, you heard it there. Shake and bake. Prophecy Racing says, Team Arcs needs an above-average miracle. Doing great, Rick. And then he says, the prophet foresaw this. Rock NASCAR says, this will change everything now. And Suave agrees, this will change everything. Lights are out on the pace car. We're now inside the final 30 minutes of this race. Tristan Bailey, Ed Shearer, 2 MTC cars, now leading Cody Pennell and Jeremy Brio, 3rd and 4th for Team Arcs. You cannot rule out Jamie Haynes racing for Alpha-1 or Shad Swatsworth as well. Now, what could be the final driver change for that 21 car? Yovi Ray now in for RMS. Waiting for the signal. Green flag is out. The MTC cars get racing. 27 minutes to go at Dega. Wrecking behind them almost immediately. That's the 88. That's the 8 car that's been involved. John Holliday, Michael Kinsley's been involved. We stay green. The yellow lights flash on. The red lights of pit road flash closed. And the 8th caution of the final 3 hours of the race comes out after John Holliday has that crash immediately after the restart. Let's have a look and and see what happened with John Holliday here in the 88. Cars already smoking at the front. That looks like Jovi Ray in the 21 that's having issues. Let's slow this one down. Oh, it absolutely is. That was Swatsworth that was involved. So let's take a look at Chad Swatsworth here in car 51. Now to the outside of Jovi Ray in that 21 car to the inside. Swatsworth seemingly just comes down. Let's back this up because the 51 of Swatsworth was already way outside here. This is Chad Swatsworth in car 51 off the restart. Keep your eye on the hands of Swatsworth. There. Oh, jeez, I always do that. Come on now. Let's go back here. Roll this one back. And I think we saw everything we needed to see there briefly. It looks like the hands just turned left on Swatsworth. And by the time he realized it, he overcorrected and it was too late. Here are the hands turning left. Right into the 21 of Jovi Ray, and Swatsworth into the wall. Holiday already collected there. Spins it around once again. And there it is. So Tristan Bailey now to the point with Cody Pennell right behind him. Jeremy Brio sitting third. Jamie Haynes in fourth. Fans at home, we're still ad-free for the next 14 minutes, so no worries here. 24 minutes remain on the clock. Let's have a word with MTC's Tristan Bailey and see how they fancy their chances to win. Tristan Bailey, Rick James up top. You got me, buddy?
What's up?
Caution after caution leads us to another restart inside the final 20 minutes of the race. You've been loving your time up front with your MTC teammate, the 9 of Ed Shearer, but now you've got very determined ARCS racing drivers behind you. Do you have what it takes to win?
I mean, hopefully got all enough fuel, but I mean, I'm not too worried about the 12 and the 99 because they both have damage. So I don't think the 11 would pull out with them because they both got damage on their front end. So I think the 12 and 99 probably gonna try to stay in the draft as much as possible.
What's it gonna take to beat the 9 of Ed Shearer?
Hopes and dreams.
So you're counting on the 9 to win this then?
I mean, most likely. I mean, he's been up front and he don't have damage. I have a little bit of front end damage, just barely, but we'll just try.
Well, that's a great show of confidence, Tristan, and then we'll congratulate you on your second place finish when the race ends. Have a good night, buddy.
All right, thank you.
All right. Well, hopefully Tristan is strapped up and ready to go. Let's have a word with Jamie Haynes in the 11 car. I don't think we've talked to any members of the Alpha-1 team just yet. Let's bother those guys and see how they're doing. And it looks like we actually can't find Jamie Haynes here. Let's see if we can find them again somewhere. There we go. Jamie Haynes, Rick James up top. You got me, buddy.
I'm sorry, what?
Jamie Haynes, Rick James in the booth. You got me?
Yes, sir.
Buddy, you're running in the 4th position right now, coming to 1 lap to go. The 9 and the 24 have been an incredible tandem all night long. They're not worried about the 12 and the 99, those ARCS cars, because they say they have damage and you won't draft with them. Do you have a strategy in the last 20 minutes to win this race?
Find a hole and make it work.
So you're going to pull a Days of Thunder. You're going to just put your foot down and hope for the best. Who's your best draft partner right now?
Right now, I'd probably work with Tristan the most because my teammate's not in the race anymore. But right now, I don't technically have anybody.
Is it a winning car, or are you just hoping to hang on for a podium?
Oh, I know it's a winning car. I led 30, 40 laps earlier.
All right, so a lot of guys are saying shake and bake. They're going to put some magic out there. Hopefully you're going to do the same, Jamie. Best of luck tonight, bud.
I appreciate it, man.
So there you hear it. The big players in the top 5 ready to throw down and get racing. K Harvick fan 429 says, hey guys, Kevin, welcome to the chat. My friend, you're tuning in just in time. 20 minutes is all that's left in this 6-hour race. The track glowing with sunshine and competition. This is going to be fun to watch. You've got just a few moments left to grab a snack, grab a drink, and get ready to go. I've got a pizza on the way. I'm going to devour that thing once this race is over, but we've got to get to the end first. Tristan Bailey on the inside of row number 1. Cody Pennell to his outside with 19 minutes to go, waiting for that signal. Green flag is out. 19 minutes left. There's the 9. There's a crash out of turn number 2. The 21's been involved. The 69's been involved. Both RMS cars in that crash. Everybody else makes it through. We stay green at Talladega inside the last 18 minutes. Tristan Bailey leading, and there is caution number 9. Bailey, Pennell, Brio. Now your top 3. Ed Shearer back in 5th now. So another caution, 3 restarts, 3 cautions on lap number 1 right after the restart. Now we've got to go back and see what happened once again, and 2 of the strongest cars tonight. The Roll Motorsports cars involved in this accident out of turn number 2. Jake Roll in the 69 car involved in that one, and you can see just terrible damage there. And Jovi Ray in the number 21 RMS Camaro with the same type of damage. Let's go back and have a look. Oh, the 9 and the 69 getting together. One more car getting involved. Let's run this one back. Ed Shearer clearly involved in this one. That was the 00 of David Trumbley that got a piece of that one. So let's have a look here. It looks like the 99 just had to check up and get out of the way. Let's run this one at a quarter speed here from the cockpit of the 99. Have a listen and see if he lifts off. The 99 does not lift off. So the 9 does not check up. Gives a little bit of bump draft to the 99 of Brio coming out of 2. But where was the checkup? Because you can see the 99 is trying to get up to the 24 of of Cody Pennell, but it looks like the 24 of Tristan Bailey could be just so much could happen. And then the 69 car, poor Jake Roll. Let's ride along with Jake Roll and listen to his engine notes, see what happened there. Just nowhere to go. He couldn't react quick enough. And that was the 42 of Michael York that got involved. Look at the damage to York's car. 3 RMS cars involved in that accident inside the final 18 minutes. Now, let's have a sit down with Tristan Bailey, one of the MTC cars. Listen to the engine note here. Was Bailey lifting? Have a listen and decide for yourself. So you can see that the 12 of Cody Pennell singing at full song there. Tristan Bailey had just shifted into 5th gear coming out of 2. So a slower acceleration for the 24 means a slower acceleration for the 12. The 99 in turn has to check up. Nowhere for the 9 of Ed Shearer to go. Ed Shearer didn't lift at all into the back of the 99 of Brio, but by the time Ed Shearer had to lift, it was too late. Ed Shearer lifted too late. Nowhere for Brio to go. Nowhere for Shearer to go. The 69 of Roll, using a fast repair, as does the 21 of Jovi Ray. But how about the 42 of Mike York? No repairs there. So 2 of the 3 RMS cars involved get their engines, get their damage fixed. Tristan Bailey's going to stay at the front of this race. We're now inside the final 15 minutes. How do you fancy your chances now? Rock NASCAR 388, dapping up K Harvick fan. Harv, glad to have you here, buddy. Thank you so much. I hope you're enjoying this. We're going to restart with 13 minutes remaining. That's roughly 16 to 17 laps if we go green all the way, which, let's face it, it's going to be a tough task, but we're here for it. Coming out of turn number 4, my pizza just arrived. That's why I was awake. Cannot wait to sink my teeth into that one. But I think a tastier snack right now is going to be this restart. 11 and a half minutes remain in this 6-hour race. Tristan Bailey, Cody Pennell, side by side. Here's the final restart of the race. We hope no it isn't, because there's a crash immediately. David Trumbley spun around, the 78 having to come to a halt. 10th caution, 12 minutes remaining. We're going to rack them and stack them one more time. And let's, oh man, straight away from the green flag, you can see the 00 of Trumbley blinking, and I think that's what started this one. Yep, that's exactly what started that one. Nowhere for the 9 of Ed Shearer to go. The 78 of Jim Pankow having to come to a halt. And let's try this one again. Let's get a close look here, but that seems to be exactly what happened. Let's have a look from the inside of Ed Shearer again. He's going to see the 00 blink. So the 00 blinks, and listen to the engine note again, because it seems like Ed Shearer tried to drive right through that 00 as they started running. The 00 will blink. He won't move, but he'll blink, and Shearer will literally try to drive through him. Have a listen. Just some impatience there by Ed Shearer in the 9 car. So Dave Trumbley sitting in 14th. Ed Shearer now sitting in the 8th position. And the car is driving extremely slow in these final 10 minutes. Waiting for the pace car to catch up. So we're going to rack them, stack them, hopefully get the 1 to go signal this time by. Everybody's going to get in formation, and we're going to keep it moving. Fans at home, the pre-rolls will turn off in 1 minute. Gavin Hudspeth raiding with a party of 2 guys. Thank you, Gav. Appreciate you. Hope everybody's enjoying this race. What we're going to do is we're going to throw up a quick 60-second ad. We're going to go ad-free to the end of the race. Prophecy Racing saying 9 car got them horns sharp tonight. Well, the 9 car's been involved in 2 of the last 2 cautions here, so hopefully Ed Shearer keeps it clean from here on out. We'll see what happens in the remaining bits of this race, but Tristan Bailey is leading. Cody Pennell is in 2nd. Jeremy Brio is in 3rd. Jamie Haynes 4th and Michael Kinsley 5th. Lights are still on the pace car, so we've got room for 1 more break. Fans, before we do go to that break, we cannot stress enough how important it is that we continue fighting to help find a cure for the Alpha-1 antitrypsin deficiency. Here's the link where you can give to the Alpha-1 Foundation. You can put the hashtag of whatever team you like and donate in their name. Give it a look over. I'll tell you what, we're going to take a 60-second break. Take those 60 seconds, give it a look over, read the story, and see how you can help save a life. And when we come back, we're going to have the conclusion of this 6-hour event. Don't go anywhere. Back in 60. There's the green flag with 7 minutes remaining, and I definitely didn't miss that restart. Going to get a bite of my pizza. Tristan Bailey leading Cody Pennell. Jeremy Brio in the 3rd position now. 6 minutes to go. I'm not sure if anybody else just heard that, but that was a lightning strike that honestly shook the foundations of my home. If I lose connection, it's because my power goes out, and if it happens in the last 6 minutes, I don't know what I'm going to do. But that's not the point. Think happy thoughts. Here comes Cody Pennell to the outside. 3 wide for the lead. Unbelievable happenings here. Pennell to the outside. My heart is racing, not only because of the racing, but because my house literally shook because of a lightning bolt. That's scary, and so is this race so far. Bailey leading, Jamie Haynes in the 2nd position, Ed Shearer in 3rd, and now we've got cars wrecking down the back straight. One of the ARC's cars, the 8 MTC car, through the air. We stay green now. Tristan Bailey leading. Jamie Haynes in second. Ed Shearer sitting in third. Cody Pennell just off the pace in fourth. 2 MTC cars, 1 KSC car, 1 ARCS car racing now. 5 minutes is all that remains. The 8 of Mike Kinsley, slow on the inside. Will that cause danger? Where is the 99? Ed Shearer sitting in third. Jeremy Brio in the 99, smoking heavily off the back of that car. Tristan Bailey at the front now. Jamie Haynes in the second position, now to the inside. 4 minutes remain. 3 wide for second, Cody Pennell, now to the second spot. To the third spot, excuse me, behind Jamie Haynes and Tristan Bailey. Haynes now to the outside through the tri-oval. Pennell on the inside line following the 24, now to the outside, and he gets a bump from Tristan Bailey on the outside. Pennell trying to draft his way into the lead. They make contact into one. Bailey to the inside, Pennell to the outside. Jake Roll spinning heavily, his race is over. There's Jamie Haynes leading. Tristan Bailey just ahead of Cody Pennell, coming out of 2. They must work together to get to the front. 4 minutes remains, coming to 3 minutes left. Tristan Bailey to the lead now. Jamie Haynes to the inside. Cody Pennell sitting in third. Now Haynes to the inside. Bailey to the outside. Here comes Pennell for second. Haynes, Bailey, Pennell, your top 3. Smoke still flying through that air. 3 minutes remain. Who is that smoking at the front? That looks like the 69 of Roll. Tristan Bailey now to the lead. He's got Ed Shearer pushing him along. Jamie Haynes to his inside. There goes Shearer in the 9. Can't keep a stable line in the middle lane. 11-12 to the inside. 24-9 to the outside. Approaching the final 2 minutes of competition. 24 and the 9 in tandem on the outside. Here comes the 11 of Jamie Haynes. Ryan Pennell to his inside. 2 cars on the outside, 2 cars on the inside. It's going to be a tandem fight for the win. 24 to the inside. He ditches his MTC teammate. Now the 12 of Cody Pennell to the inside of the 9. Jamie Haynes in second. Chevy, Ford, your top 3 inside the final 2 minutes of racing. Tristan Bailey leads. Fighting off Jamie Haynes with Ed Shearer now to the outside of Cody Pennell. It's a fight for third between Ed Shearer to the outside, Cody Pennell to the inside. Jamie Haynes will have to draft his way around the 24 of Tristan Bailey inside the final 2 minutes of competition. Bailey leading, Haynes sitting in second, Cody Pennell in third. Here comes Haynes to the outside. Can't make it stick. Haynes still on the outside line. Trying to side draft off of the 24. Side drafting off that 24. What a strategy inside the last 2 minutes. Haynes, Jamie Haynes, muscling his way around the outside. Wrecked by Bailey. Bailey gets to his inside with 2 minutes to go. Tristan Bailey spins Haynes. Inside the final minute, Tristan Bailey to the inside of Haynes, turns him through the tri-oval. Cody Pennell now. Cody Pennell to the inside around the 24. The 88 of Jose Ruiz now on the outside, fighting for the win. Cody Pennell to the inside. It's the final minute of racing. There's the 88 turned around. Bailey's involved. Pennell by himself. The caution comes out at the end. Is that the race? Is it official? Coming to the line. Forgive my raspiness. It's so exciting. Trying to get over this chest cold. Cody Pennell to the front. Caution comes out. Is that the Alpha-1 600 going to ARCS? No time remains. 0 minutes are left. Ed Shearer now passing Cody Pennell. Will he be scored as the race winner? So much drama. Give me just a moment. There we go. Goodness me. Don't know why I didn't do that 5 minutes ago. But anyway, Cody Pennell at the front of this race with 0 minutes remaining on the clock. Caution coming out with cars wrecking everywhere at the end of this race. And if the results stand, at the moment of caution, Cody Pennell was your race leader. He took the line as the race leader, and coming around, the number 12 of Cody Pennell from Good Hope, Georgia. Three wide here at the finish. What a way to end the Alpha-1 Foundation 600. And Cody Pennell will cross the line as the winner of the Alpha-1 600. Cody Pennell gets the job done with 0 minutes remaining on the clock, gets the win for the 12 car, gets the win for Team Arcs. So much goes on in that last 2 laps. We have got to have a look. Let's go back to Mike Kinsley, who was involved here. This is separate from, is it though? So there's the crash at the restart. You saw the 9 got involved with that one. There's Jim Pankow also having an incident now. Okay, so this is under that caution there. Let's go further forward. Brio in the 99 under the same period. So the caution flag comes out again. Now, where is the 24 of Tristan Bailey at this point? Here's Tristan Bailey leading in that 24 car. So we still have yet to see. Jake Roll has also gone around. Now this is after Bailey. There's the incident right there. Let's run this one back because it looks like the 21 car just did not lift and got into the 88. And look how close Cody Pennell was to being involved in this mess. 88's going to go around right now. Or not. He's going to snap in a moment. There's the 88. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That's how close it was. Now let's run this back one full lap here. I want to see what happened between the 24 of Tristan Bailey and the 11 of Haynes. Let's have a look here. So we're going to go to the chase view of Jamie Haynes. Watch the side drafting here. Haynes played it perfectly. Now through the tri-oval. So at this point, Haynes is clear in front of the 24. This is coming to the de facto final lap of the race. The 24 of Bailey does not lift, gets all over the back of Haynes. Now look, Bailey, almost all 4 tires under the yellow line, taps the 11 of Haynes, turns him around. Let's ride along from the cockpit of the 24 of Tristan Bailey, and we'll have a listen. There it is. Now here comes Cody Pennell with a head full of steam. The 24 car. This is the final lap, mind you. The 24 car. Slow now. Here comes Pennell to the outside. 24 tries to block. Nothing he can do at that point. Now here comes the 88 of Jose Ruiz to the outside. The 21 eager to push the 88 along. And that's all she wrote. But for the 12 of Cody Pennell, he celebrates on the front straight. There's his ARCS teammate, the 99 of Jeremy Brio. Celebration donuts for everybody. What a night for Team ARCS. What a night for the Alpha-1 Foundation. Folks, I'm going to spam that link now. What an absolute crackerjack box of an evening. Smoke everywhere. Click this link, and why don't you give something for Cody Pennell? Put hashtag ARCS in there. Hashtag Cody Pennell, something. But what a show. What an unbelievable display of talent, of fun. What a great night. Fans, sit tight. Don't go anywhere. We're going to have top 3 in the booth right before we say goodnight. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in just a few moments. Back on the podium after a thrilling finish there. We've got our podium interviews. The last 6 hours were a blur. Let's go through it now, starting with our bronze medal finisher, Jovi Ray, in the number... I'm sorry, I've got this wrong here. Mike York in the number 42 Roll Motorsports car. Yorkie, you managed to get that bronze medal finish, my friend. How was your race?
Long.
It was 6 hours. Of course, it was long.
Yeah, very long. I mean, I drove for about 3 hours, but no, man, we rode around the last 2.5 hours with no fast repairs and managed to bring it home P3. So I know one of my teammates over here, Jovi, got P2, so shout out to him. Shout out to Cody and Ryan and their team for winning the race. Shout out to my other teammate who drove the other half of this leg for me, James Holzer. And thank you to Rick and Atlanta and Frozen for, broadcasting this. And this is all for a good cause. This is all for Mike. I race Mike every Tuesday, so this is for him. And yeah, I'm just happy to finish P3, man. That was fun.
You did a wonderful job, and your RMS teammate, Jovi Ray, getting the second place finish. Jovi, you stepped into the car incredibly late. Did you think you would get a silver medal performance out of it?
Nah. It was a very long race from the beginning, making too many mistakes. I thought I was like, there's no way we're gonna finish second, but somehow we pulled it off.
You pulled it off despite all the carnage out there. Was it difficult for RMS to get something going?
It wasn't difficult. It was just us being patient, waiting our time when to go, and we just waited for the right opportunity, and it showed itself, and came home second and third.
Congratulations to you. Congratulations to Team RMS as well.
Yeah, thank you. Shout out to you guys for hosting this. Shout out to my teammate Nate Mon for helping me. If it wasn't for him, we would have never came second. It was all because of him carrying us all the way. And shout out to RMS, our boys came home P2 and P3. Couldn't be more proud.
You did a beautiful job there. And before we get to our winning interview, fans at home, one more time, we're going to post the link in the Twitch chat so you can go donate with the hashtag of your favorite driver or your favorite team, or even just Alpha-1 race or anything like that. But all these iRacing drivers tonight from across the nation came together to take on the largest and, well, one of the largest racetracks in the world, the Talladega Superspeedway, in this virtual 6-hour endurance race to raise awareness and funds to help find a cure for the Alpha-1 antitrypsin deficiency. Click that link, learn about Alpha-1, donate what you can, and help save the life of a friend, of a loved one, someone, anybody. Give what you can, help save a life with the help of the Alpha-1 Foundation. And now the winner, driver of the number 12 Alliance Racing Championship Series Ford Mustang, Cody Pennell, after 355 laps, 944 miles, and goodness knows how many cautions. When the dust settles in the Alabama sunset, you have won the Alpha-1 Foundation 600.
Yes, sir. It feels good. Couldn't have done it without, the help from Ryan and Jacket too. Obviously, they put us in a great position there at the end of the race for that last stint. And just happy to be a part of this. And this race was for a good cause, and I'm glad that we could raise some money for it and all come out here and have some fun.
A wonderful evening, a wonderful cause. Going into this race, did you have any idea you had a genuine chance to win it?
I kind of thought that everybody did. That's just the way plate track racing goes. But there was obviously the little bit of twist to it that it was kind of an endurance event. So, I had a lot of fun though. And just got to give a shout out to, the guys that put this on, and Ryan and Jacket for putting the team together.
A big shout out to yourself, a big shout out to all of Team ARCS, and of course all the sponsors that helped put this together. Congratulations on your win, Cody. Go celebrate with your team.
All right, thank you, Rick.
Fans at home, it has been an incredible 6 hours. None of this would be possible without my esteemed colleagues, Frozen Toes and Atlanta Racing. Guys, wherever you are, if you're listening to this, Frozen, thank you so much for being a part of this. Thank you for carrying the first 3 hours of this. Same goes to Atlanta. Thank you for carrying the first three. Oh, that is not good. There we go. Thank you to Atlanta for carrying the first 3 hours of tonight's show as well. Follow them on Twitter at FrozenToes24 and at Atlanta_Racing. We came in an hour late, but we finished strong, and what a 6 hours it was. Fans at home, we cannot do this without you. Thank you so very, very much. Everybody, please stay safe, take care of each other, and we will see you all